Hello and welcome back to another FIFA 21 player review. Today's review is for the level 30 storyline card Sciligio and Sessegnon. And before we get into the review, I would just like to thank you for the support on last month's storyline card. That was Emerson. He's done incredibly well and I can't thank you enough. So let's get into this review. So now you can see the team on the screen. So it's a 4-4-2 to begin with, but in game I switched it to a 4-3-1-2 and I'd take Daniel Malin off and bring Milinkovic-Savic on. Robben would play in at cam, and then Sessegnon and Rooney would be my strikers. So let's move on to the stats of Sessegnon. So now on the screen you can see the stats. I played 5 games, scored 10 goals and assisted 5, and as you'll see in the gameplay that's coming up, he is just insane. So just before we get into the actual gameplay section, I'm just going to go through some chemistry styles that you can use for Sessegnon. So as you can see on screen, the first one that I would recommend is the engine. So it boosts his pace to 97, his dribbling to 93 and his passing to 90. And I do have to say with his passing it's actually a lot higher, but obviously the free kick accuracy brings it down a lot. And I think if you're going to be playing him as a left mid, I would highly recommend the engine, as it does boost his crossing and his short and long passing, but obviously it also increases his agility and balance to 98 and 99 respectively, and it boosts his pace to 97, which makes him that little bit quicker. But I think if you're playing him as a winger, this is the best chem style to use for him. So the second chem style I would suggest is the finisher. Now I would say this is more if you play him as a left winger that's going to be running into the box, as it gives him 99 agility and balance and 99 dribbling, but it also gives his shooting a massive boost, so you don't really have to worry when you're in the box, because obviously he has 94 composure as well. But this is the second of 3 chem styles that I would suggest, so let's move on to the last one. Now on to the third and final chem style, which is the marksman. This is what I put on him, that you'll see later in the gameplay. So it boosts his shooting massively, his dribbling, it boosts the reactions, ball control and dribbling. I don't think that his agility balance actually really needs to be boosted, so obviously the engine and finisher do, but his agility I would say is already actually end game. But the thing with the marksman, it does give him 89 jumping and 80 strength. So I would suggest if you're going to be playing him as a striker, as I did, marksman is the chemistry style for you. Okay, so now into the gameplay section. We're looking at the first clip. So actually this is the first game I played with Sessegnon. So as you can see, 13 minutes into his debut, I've scored from my kickoff, or my goal kick, sorry. And then you can see only 4 minutes later, Sessegnon yet again. And I mean, to be honest, this was just an incredible debut. As you can see on his weak foot, as he is left footed, he whips in an absolutely incredible ball to Rooney. And now you can see later on in the game, we're in the 66th minute, it's now 4-3, but I gave a penalty, so I thought why not stick Sessegnon on, and as you can see, buries it bottom left hand corner, top notch. And this is the final clip of the first game. So Boateng knocks down Sessegnon in the box, so another penalty. So obviously this review is for Sessegnon, so I put him on the penalty again, and I thought I wouldn't go the same way, and he did save it, but fortunately Sessegnon was quick enough to react to the rebound, and he made the final score 7-3. And I will show you the stats at the end. As you can see, he got a 10 out of 10, and if you do ever want to slow this part of the video down to actually see his stats more in depth, I've done it for those that actually want to see more in-depth stats. So now into game 2. As you can see, I was 1-0 down, but Sessegnon uses his speed. I do have to say that Sessegnon is incredibly fast and agile, and his shooting is just incredible. And you'll see time after time, he's able to turn on the spot pretty much, and his shooting is just top tier. And I think the thing with this card is he allows for a lot of squad building options. Because he's English, he's got very good links, and you'll see time after time he's always getting round the back of defences, and he pretty much puts away everything. But you'll see from game 3 I actually swapped Armstrong for Rooney, so obviously earlier in the video I showed the team that I used him in, but from game 3 I put Armstrong in, and Daniel Malin would actually play at cam, as we just see another cross from Sessegnon. And in this game, this guy actually went AFK, or his controller died. I don't know what happened, but I took advantage of it, as you can see with Sessegnon. So we're in the 85th minute at this point, and I was able to get just one more goal in, this time finesse on his weak foot. And I do have to say that this card was just a lot of fun to play with, and another 10 out of 10 performance. I think if you're not taking this Sessegnon card from level 30, I do have to question why you're not, because he's just incredible. If you put a marksman on him, use him as a striker, and you can turn on the spot, and his shooting is just incredibly good. So here you can see the gameplay is a bit choppy, but this is actually what it was like to play. As you can see, he scored a near post header, and this is the final clip of the actual gameplay. So that was all of his goals and assists. So, and I will be back in the next section, which is the links to this Storyline Sessegnon card. Now on to the strong links to Ryan Sessegnon. So there is the Europa League road to the final Bebu. Obviously Hoffenheim are no longer in the Europa League. And Player of the Month Kramaric, he came out in October I believe, so he's long gone at this point, but I think there is an informed Kramaric if you wanted to. And then obviously any icon or moment that is English will be a strong link to him. So I've put Cole, but it can be any English icon will give him that strong link. So if you haven't from icon swaps, maybe looking at Ashley Cole from 9 tokens could be a good option if you do take this Sessegnon card, but obviously I have other options to link him, so I don't really find it a problem, so I personally won't be taking Cole. But otherwise, let's talk about other links to Sessegnon. So now on to the other links for this Ryan Sessegnon card. So as you can see on screen, I've just put some examples with end of an era Rooney, Team of the Year honourable mention Jack Grealish, milestone Rico Henry, and what if Guendouzi. So basically the only real way to link this Sessegnon card is either being English or from the Bundesliga, so it depends if you want a hybrid, or you just go for a full Bundesliga team because you can have quite a good one this year. So that's completely up to you, but I think Sessegnon does allow for very good squad building opportunities. So I'm now just going to talk about the pros and cons of this card. So let's start off with the pros. So the pros for this Sessegnon card, I'll start off by saying he is super rapid. He's honestly, I don't think you'd be able to tell the difference between this card and Mbappe. He is so quick. And then secondly, he's super agile. I think the fact that I've given him a marksman, it probably is the right chem style because his agility and balance are already so high. They do not need boosting. But finally, it is his rocket of a left foot. I mean, his left foot is so good. He just hits that ball with so much power. And I just enjoyed this card so much because of that. Now for the con, because I actually think there's only one thing that I found as an issue with this card, and it was his strength. Sometimes he does feel a little bit weak, even though with the marksman he does have 80 strength. I did find that sometimes he was getting knocked off the ball quite a lot, but he definitely made up for it with his shooting. So it's one little minor to this card. So what would I rate this card out of 10? I think I'm going to have to give him a 10 out of 10. This card was thoroughly enjoyable. His shooting's incredible. His crossing's incredible. He's fast. He's agile. It was just an absolute pleasure to play with this card for the 5 games that I did, and I'm definitely going to try and build a squad that I use regularly with this Sessegnon card in. So out of the 3 level 30 players, would I recommend taking this Ryan Sessegnon? Yes, I would definitely recommend taking Sessegnon from level 30, because you will definitely enjoy him if you play him as a striker with a marksman, because he is just insane. I think with De Sciglio being a right back, is he really going to be that impactful? Probably not. And with Januzaj, I think there's already options out there. So you can either get Porto, or, because Messi's actually very cheap at this point, just get Messi, put a hunter on him, and he's significantly better than that Januzaj card. So yes, 110% I would recommend taking Sessegnon from level 30. So if you did enjoy this Ryan Sessegnon storyline player review, drop a like, let me know down in the comment section below if you will be taking him from level 30, and do subscribe if you're new around here. But for now, I'll see you in the next one.